Hello. For most of us, when we think about the First World War, we get an image of soldiers in trenches, slogging it out for 4 years in the battlefields of Northern Europe. But on the other side of Europe in 1915, a very different story was unfolding. This was to have a massive impact on world history in the decades that followed. It was Gallipoli. Like the Greek armies that landed at Troy 3,000 years earlier, and Troy is actually only 10 miles away from Gallipoli, a huge fleet assembled, while the defenders looked down with trepidation. The world assembled at Gallipoli in 1915. There were soldiers from every continent: Britain, France, Germany, Ireland, Turkey, Nepal, India, Syria, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Senegal, North Africa. But the Turkish defenders held out. First they saw off a naval action, and then a huge land invasion. 500,000 soldiers were up against them. There was a massive loss of life on both sides. 50,000 men on both sides. Further to that, of course, many more wounded, and actually a huge loss of people who died of illness. It was a baking hot summer in 1915, and winter storms came unusually in December of that year. Many more men died. So what does Gallipoli mean to us today? Well, it depends very much which country you come from. For some, like Australia, New Zealand, and Turkey, it's the beginning of their national story. They see it as the point when their imperial past was shaken off. For others, like France and Britain, it's become a bit of a forgotten war. We want to change that through this project. We're working with schools and museums, and we're starting with the individual stories, the stories of the actual soldiers who went there, and of course their families who stayed at home. And we're also moving it out on an international level. In every country, Gallipoli means something different. We want to find out about those myths and share our stories with each other. We'll share the human stories and all the international myths. In the words of one British teacher, we've been too focused on the Western Front when studying the Great War. Gallipoli helps us show why it was a world war.